Hey everyone, welcome to West Coast Muscle Saws. We're working on a Super Pro 125. Got it in pretty good running condition. I do want to rebuild this carburetor. It's got a couple issues. Would love to put a brand new carburetor on there, but you know that's not going to happen. And I will say a lot of these carburetors, this is a Walboro, the very popular SDC, very rebuildable. And what you want to look for in these, of course, take them apart. Diaphragms will probably be stiff. Take it apart, and you're going to want to take out this metering needle. Now you want to check this level. This is critical when you're going back together. You can see here it needs to be level with these two bosses, this little lever, and so it's not right now, so we'd have to you can actually hold the back of it and use another little probe and push down, and you can actually level this when you go back with a new kit. I have not put the kit in yet, but I'm going to. But anyway, that's what you want to do. And now these soft plugs, while you're there, should be taken out. And of course, to take them out properly, you really should take out this jet, because the tip of it sits in there, and you want to be careful sticking a probe in here and popping it out. They make special tools to do it, little chisel, and these are available. You can give me a shout if you want. It's available to pick these up. Really need this type of stuff if you go to work on these. And you're going to want to inspect underneath these and clean any debris, and you may do some repair work. You may replace components under here. It just depends on what you find in there. Let me show you one more thing to look for. If you don't have, you really need an otoscope to look inside this metering chamber. Now you watch this as it comes apart. Little spring's going to jump out. That little spring right there. Little trick we learned a long time ago to keep that spring from disappearing. Get you some clean grease, usually a clean grease gun, and put just a little dab of grease right in there, and then stick that spring right in there. It's not going anywhere, and the gasoline will dissipate it. Works beautiful. Done it for years. Take the otoscope, look in the chamber here. It's got a light on it, and you can actually look in there, and you can check it out and look for pitting. If you do see some pitting in there, your needle seat is only going to work for a little while, then it's going to start weeping. A good fix I found for that is on these old carburetors, get you a soda blaster, and we're going to run outside and take a look at my soda blaster. Very cheap, very economical, easy to run and operate. And what you would do is strip the carburetor down, blast it with soda blaster, and it's basically baking soda, environmentally safe. And it'll actually take some of that pitting out, and will usually cure that weeping and dripping that you get on an inlet needle that causes the flooding on these carburetors. Let's take a quick run outside. You can kind of look at the shop as we go through there. It's kind of plugged up with things. Bunch of saws up there, of course, scrappers. That's a baking soda blaster right there. It's a Harbor Freight special. I think I paid like 80 bucks for it, probably less than that now. Had it for years, didn't think it'd last very long. It lasts very well. To load it, unscrew this, pop off the hose on the back right here. Slip this up, get you a funnel, pour in baking soda. You can buy the baking soda by 50-pound bags. Pour it up to about here, put it back together, hook here up to it. You're going. There's the old press there for straightening the bars. That's an 800-pound anvil there I use for some bar repair. Just a quick pass through here. And of course, you've seen the grinders before. There's the SDM4 and a couple of the raker machines back there. Anyway, I'll fire that saw up here in a little bit. And okay, I'm going to show you how to take those soft plugs out. You can buy that kit. I actually like using this very commercial pick. You can get these at Snap-on, different places. Sharpen it up really nice, and you can actually gently, barely tap it in there. And take that soft plug out. You're going to want to take both of them out. One's a high speed, one's a low speed. Okay, soft plugs are out. Passages look very good. I will clean that, and when I'm doing this I will clean out the high speed and low speed jet also, and we'll get this put back together here shortly. Okay, I've got these soft plugs, new ones, setting in here, and there is a special tool, and you really want a clean surface if you're using another tool. And what you do is set it on there, and you're just going to lightly peen it. And you're done. Now, you should seal these, and of course if you're running non-ethanol, you can use fingernail polish. That's what the factory recommended back in the day. Put a little, very little bit on there to seal it. Truthfully, I've had very few leak around here, and you can actually do some testing to see if you get some leakage there. If you're going to run some ethanol blend, then you might do a little research and get some kind of a some sealer that's resistant to gasoline and ethanol, alcohol basically. We're going to put this carburetor back together now. On the Super Pro 125, you've got a hose right there, the gray one, coming off the manifold into the fuel pump side of the carburetor on this SDC. And the pulsation of the engine running pulsates that diaphragm, and of course you could have a problem with if there's a hose or a crack or an air leak. That's when the pressure vacuum gauges come in handy. Okay, we're going to perform a little test. We want to make sure that the fuel pump is sealed properly. Put your hose on there, and you got your gauge. And of course we get nothing, and the reason being is we have a vent or another passage right here. On different saws this carburetor was used, and they used this passage here and blocked off this nipple to run the fuel pump. McCulloch went with the hose on the back side of the diaphragm. So anyway, put your finger over that. Pumps up and holds. You can let your finger off, bleeds off. That fuel pump is good shape, relatively good shape, it's telling me. We're going to perform a couple tests on the metering side. We're going to do a little bit of pressure. And we can reach here, in here, make sure both jets are open. And watch the gauge. It bleeds off. It's sealing. Your inlet needle is sealing. That's a good sign. Now watch this when you take in the jets, low speed and high speed. Get a little bit of pressure. Apply a little pressure on the backside of the diaphragm. It's not moving. It's telling you both those high speed and low speed are sealing. You can open up the jet here. Watch your gauge. It bleeds off. Tighten it back up. Open up the other jet. Give a little pressure. Watch the gauge again. Bleeds off. High speed, low speed, everything is pretty, we got a pretty good chance this is going to work fine. So anyway, here in a little bit I'll put this carburetor back on the Super Pro 125, and we'll see if we can get this thing to fire up.